God, if you're up there, please help me. I need your help.
6 years ago, Kalen Kofelt sat down with 6 News. With 2 years of sobriety under his belt, he walked us through how he became addicted to heroin. It started with a prescription for opioids to numb the pain from 2 knee surgeries. But when that habit became too expensive, he sought a cheaper high with heroin.
My son hated the drug dealers. He hated them with a passion. He hated the drug. He hated everything about it.
Andy Hurst was also hooked on heroin. His addiction also started with prescription pills. But at 24 years old, Andy's addiction did kill him. 6 years ago, his dad, Mike Hurst, sat down with 6 News, sharing his final moments with his son on that devastating day, May 17th, 2010.
He's laying on the ground and the paramedics are trying to revive him, and sit and watch that for 30 minutes, you know. You wanna come across something that you never want to have to do, that would be it.
I wanted something else. I wanted life, joy, happiness. That's what I wanted.
And today, that's what Kalen has. Now 8 years sober, with a loving wife, a home, a dog, a budding career, and big plans for his future.
I want to thank God first and foremost, but I truly believe that, my family has a lot to do with this as well. Every time I fell, they were there to pick me up.
Kalen takes his recovery day by day. Terrified to go back to the dark times, he looks ahead, cautiously planning out his days, staying far away from highly addictive behaviors and dangerous substances and the people who use them, and close to those helping to keep him clean. Mike Hurst is among them. Through his nonprofit Andy's Angels, created in memory of his son Andy, and most recently with Andy's Place, an apartment complex in Jackson, giving people hope and a safe place to live, heal, recover, and get the resources they need to stay clean. Something Hurst and his family tried so hard to do for Andy.
One of the last conversations I ever had with him, he goes, "Dad, I just don't have a purpose in life. I'm just a burden on the family, I'm a burden on you." And he died 3 days later. And so when I saw this, what we've accomplished because of his death, and I saw this building go up, I said, wow, I think we know what his purpose was. It's pretty big.
I couldn't imagine a life without the drugs. It was hard to just see beyond that what being clean looked like, let alone, having a great career and a successful marriage. And, these things are a blessing. When we're fighting to stay sober, that you have to nurture like a kindling of a fire, right? And don't let it go. You have to pursue it, you have to chase it every single day as if you were trying to get high. And maintain that addiction. You have to feed your recovery twice as much. Do not give up. Dig in and find some hope from somewhere, because getting clean is the hardest thing I've ever done.
These are common sense measures, red flag laws and extreme protection orders. We've got the ability for the requirement that parents have securely store their weapons. These are simple, important things, the background checks that can keep people safer. And so we got it done, and we got it done really quickly. And, too many lives have been lost. Too many have been scarred forever. But I'm grateful to so many who were able to tell the legislature, tell their story, tell the public why it's important we do this.
Which then transitions to the juvenile and the prison reform. Educate me a little bit more, because are we going to see, what are we seeing maybe in the next 1 or 2 years with the changes that have been made this year?
Well, there's been some significant changes that we've been able to implement this year, one of which is something called Clean Slate. So people who've already served their sentences and have finished their parole or probation, they've paid their debt to society for the mistake that they made or whatever act they committed. And now we need to have them be fully re-engaged in the economy, fully re-engaged in our communities, be fully re-engaged with their families. But because they had something on their record, they weren't able to do this. And at a time when we have so many jobs that need to be filled, it's time to make people job eligible.
To see all these locks locked, it was a bad night.
Zig Olds has been an evidence technician for the Lansing Police Department for 5 years now, and he sees and handles firearms on a daily basis. So far this year, LPD officers have seized more than 400 guns.
I came back to Lansing because I wanted to help the greater good. And come to find out, I get a job where I get to see the worst of the city. It's very depressing. But we feel as though we're doing something as we are taking them here as opposed to finding them out on the street. Once they're in our possession, they're not a harm to anybody.
As the years pass, Lansing Police Chief Ellery Soseby says his department is seeing a consistent and concerning rise in guns being taken off the streets, including modified fully automatic weapons to manufactured 3D printed guns.
Our milestone was 100 guns in 1 year, and now we're taking off 300, 400, 500 guns a year off the streets. Those are illegal guns.
I never thought this day would come to where I would be sober, I would have a decent life, I wouldn't be in prison for another extended amount of time.
Both Noah and Kaylin say anyone on the road to sobriety knows they have to feed their recovery twice, if not 10 times as much as they did their addiction. But breaking free is possible. The person struggling with substance use disorder has to want it. But some people say you can't chase them down to get them help. But Corey from Rise feels differently.
Had my mom thought like that, I might be dead right now. I don't know that I agree with that. If it's somebody that I love, it's my son or my daughter, and they're out there, I'm in my truck and I'm driving around until I find you. And whenever I do find you, I'm going to try everything in my power to every single night if I have to, over and over and over, because at some point there's going to be a 5-minute window where that person wants help. And I have to be there when that 5-minute window opens up.
First of all, we appreciate you sitting down with us this week. We know you're a very busy man right now with signing day obviously coming up, but we'll just start with less than 2 weeks since being named head coach here. How have things been going since adjusting to life in East Lansing?
Yeah, it's been going fast. A couple things stood out for sure is just how welcomed I felt with my family initially getting here, and then being here now a week and a half, meeting people, the excitement, the genuine nature of people wanting to help, wanting to support. It's been awesome diving into the current roster, learning their stories, these players here, and then obviously our recruiting's taking place, and starting on that side of guys that had interest already in Michigan State, and that kind of thing. So there's a lot going on, but we're still pretty excited to be doing it.